Good morning.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if somebody's going to respond. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. Thank you all for coming out for our CRA board meeting. Oh, thank you. We need to take care of one order of business before we get the meeting started, and that is I will need a motion to allow the mayor to participate remotely.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion by Commissioner Williams-Cox, seconded by, I'm trying to hesitate to let,
He's coming.
okay, all right, yes, so we've got a quorum. We've got a motion to allow the mayor to participate remotely. There's a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. So we will then start. Mr. Executive.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mayor. We're glad you're able to participate remotely. We're looking forward to a good meeting this morning. And so with that, Mr. Executive Director, Mr. Cox, we'll call the meeting to order. Any agenda modifications?
Yes, sir. We have one modification. Item 801 is being pulled. The applicant has rescinded their application.
Which
8.01.
801.
Okay. And that is the grant for the South Gadsden Street property?
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right, and that's 801? Is that 801?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
801 has been pulled. All right. Okay, so that moves us to item 2.01. We've done the agenda modifications, and now we're at recognition of service. We had done this earlier, and we had two of our staff that were not here to be recognized. So that will bring us to, again, recognition of service, item number 3.01. And I'm going to ask Commissioner Williams-Cox if she would recognize those individuals who were not here the last time for, oh, this year.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay.
It is indeed an honor to be here this morning, and on behalf of the citizens of Tallahassee Community Redevelopment Agency Board and the CRA staff, we would like to acknowledge recognition of service for several CRA Volunteer Downtown Redevelopment Commission members. As I call your name, please come to the podium and receive a token of appreciation. On the plaque has each individual's name, years of service, and reads, "In recognition of your dedication and years of service to the community, working together towards community goals." Our first person is Jeff Billingsley. Jeff served in a voluntary capacity on the City of Tallahassee Development Review Commission from 2020 to 2025. He is a respected top producing broker associate. Jeff's expertise was instrumental in numerous large CRA funding requests, among other things, including various CRA application scoring processes. He assisted multiple times with in-depth application evaluations. Additionally, Jeff has served as both the DRC Vice Chair and Chair during his years of service. Congratulations, Jeff, and thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you to the commission. It was my honor to do this, and I very much look forward to our meetings that we had, and I felt like we did some good work while we were there. I do want to thank the staff as well. You guys made our job much easier, so thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate your service.
Our next honoree is Latifa A. Muhammad. Okay. She's here?
She may be online.
Okay. Latifah, are you online?
There.
Yes, I'm online.
Okay, well, there we
Okay.
are. Thank you.
Good
Latifah-
morning, Latifah.
Good morning.
Latifah Muhammad served in a voluntary capacity on the City of Tallahassee Development Review Commission from 2020 to 2025. She freely utilized her legal acumen regarding various CRA-centric matters. She was on several CRA committees over the years, including application review for catalytic projects such as Art on Fire, which was facilitated by KCCI. Thank you, Ms. Latifah Muhammad, for your service. And we will keep this here, and you'll be able to pick this up from the CRA office. Give her a
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure to serve and honor. And unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, I could not be physically present today. But thank you for the recognition, and I truly appreciate serving.
And thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you, Latifah. We appreciate your service.
And last but not least, Kyle Phelps.
Okay.
Kyle with us? Is Kyle online? Okay, well, we're going to talk about Kyle anyway. Kyle Phelps served in a voluntary capacity on the City of Tallahassee Development Review Board Commission from 2020 to 2025. Kyle has over 20 years of banking experience spanning commercial banking, private banking management, commercial real estate lending, and special assets. He utilized his skills to the benefit of the CRA and citizenry, often providing assistance with financial analysis of projects. Mr. Phelps also served on scoring application committees. Additionally, Kyle has served as both the DRC vice chair and chair during his years of service. Let's give him a round of applause.
All right, Kyle.
We want to publicly thank each of you for your dedication, your year's worth of voluntary service to this community. Thank you for assisting the CRA and the community with fostering public and private partnerships to achieve community goals. Join me in giving all of them another round of applause.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner Williams-Cox. And again, thank you to those who have served. We appreciate your service, and with that, we will continue with the agenda as presented. We're on item number 4.01.
No, sir.
Mr. Cox, any?
3.02.
Do not do, oh, okay, all right. Okay, 3.02. I thought we'd done 3.02.
None.
Oh, okay, all right, let's do 3.02.
Presentation.
All right, the Downtown Improvement Authority presentation. Mr. Elias Mathis?
Elias?
Is Elias?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I apologize for that. All right, so we're on 3.02. Mr. Elias,
Yep.
it's on you.
Good morning, everyone. Elias Mathis, CEO of the Downtown Improvement Authority. Thanks for inviting me to come speak with you today and give you an update on some of the projects we've been working on. I've been with the DIA now for right at 2 years, and we've been working really closely with Stephen and his staff on a number of different projects. We're also going to be planning to bring some other items back in August, which I won't mention today, but Stephen did want me to come and just provide a really quick update on some of the other projects we've been doing and the things that the DIA is focusing on.
Okay.
So for a quick refresher, because I know there, if you can believe it, there are a few people out there that don't really know what the DIA is or what we do, but so we're a special taxing district for downtown, and we really function as a business improvement district for downtown. And our mission is to cultivate a thriving 18-hour downtown that attracts businesses, residents, and visitors. And the DIA board and I put together a new strategic plan for the organization that really hones in on the 5 service areas that you've got listed there. And we've been focusing quite a bit on beautification and placemaking for downtown. And I'm going to point out just a couple of the projects we've been working on with the CRA. Back last year, I spoke to you all and we requested some funding for our Adam Street Commons project. So this is a larger project that's focusing on revitalizing the Adam Street corridor. And there's some additional elements, including landscaping and public art, that we're also focusing on. But we specifically came to the CRA for some funding for this lighting component of the project. And I know these pictures aren't great, they're just from my phone, but I did want to just give you all kind of a glimpse of what we've done. So the lights were installed back in December, and if you haven't been out there, please come check it out. It really, enhances the street and, makes the area feel more active and safe. So we've got the overhead string lights that go across the street. We've also done significant landscape lighting. So all the magnolia trees along that corridor, if you remember, the canopy provides great shade in the day, but it also kind of darkens the area underneath them. So, I tried to take a photo that expressed that here, where, if you're walking down this corner in particular, this area was really dark. You couldn't kind of see the ground over there. So it's done a lot to, it looks good. It's, aesthetically pleasing, but it also enhances the feeling of safety and walkability in that area. And I did want to just point out for this lighting project too, we had to work with 4 different property owners to anchor the lights into the facades, which was actually a pretty big deal. I was concerned about whether, property owners would want to cooperate with us. And I could say across the board, everybody was really excited about the project and was extremely cooperative. Even if they're not retail or restaurants, they really wanted to see those kind of improvements to the area. So another CRA DIA partnership is the new Clean and Safe program that we launched this year. So this is something that a lot of communities around the country have for downtown specifically. It usually includes a small team that's dedicated to sidewalk cleaning, graffiti abatement, also just kind of being eyes on the street to report any kind of safety concerns. So the CRA provided matching funds of $15,000 to help us hire a contractor to do regular pressure washing. And then we've also hired some staff internally to build our capacity to do this kind of work continuously. So a couple of other related projects that are not funded by CRA. So we partnered with the Council on Culture and Arts to launch our new sculpture program downtown. And I've got photos of the first 3 sculptures that we've done that were funded by a grant from the Knight Foundation. And that's a really cool project. We started with 3 locations, but we have additional ones identified, including 2 in the Bicentennial Square project when that is fully unveiled. And we're looking at a lot of other locations around downtown. And it was interesting. We did, I think it was back beginning of session, we did a tour of downtown and looked at public art and public space activation with some out-of-town urban planners. And one of them, I think it was from Marathon, Florida, called us recently asking additional questions because they're trying to replicate our sculpture program down there. So I thought that was pretty cool that we're able to influence some of these other communities. We've also got some additional landscaping and lighting projects planned. So that one photo in the top left there, it was a temporary installation we did on Adam Street just to show kind of the effect of, additional seating, landscaping, lighting, just these smaller public amenities and what it can do to activate some of these urban spaces downtown. And we want to do some work on this corner coming up, but there's also several other locations downtown we want to work on. And finally, the photo in the very top right corner, that's a project in Pensacola. It's actually part of a much larger mural program that they're doing. And we've been coordinating with them, trying to understand the materials they used, because they're not traditional murals that are just painted onto the sides of buildings. It's actually a metal frame with canvas over it. And they look fantastic. They've got some that are really big that are higher up, and then some that are lower level like this. But we've been looking for solutions where we could do, specifically for places like parking garages where it's, breaks up the streetscape a lot. They're not, aesthetically pleasing, but there's also not like a solid space that you could do a mural on. So we've identified this solution, and we're actually getting quotes from contractors for installing some of these types of projects around the community. And I'm sure this will be one that we come back to talk to the CRA about in the future. And finally, again, this isn't CRA related, but I did just want to include it. This is some of our stats from our annual report about special events. So, there's kind of the physical side of the placemaking where we're making these physical improvements around downtown, but we've also got significant efforts into activating downtown through marketing and special events. And we've significantly expanded that this past year. So we did 77 events across downtown with nearly 70,000 attendees in total. And that's a big jump from past years. So average attendance per event has jumped by 17%. And I wanted to call out Scott Buchanan, who's our special events manager. He took over the market, our Saturday market this past year, and we've seen a 72% increase in attendance at the Saturday market under Scott. So we're seeing just a lot of interest in people wanting to come enjoy these public spaces and have these community events to go to. So I did want to point that out. It's a big part of the puzzle and helping to reactivate downtown and get that 18-hour downtown that we all want. So that's it for me. I'm trying to keep it short because I know you'll have a packed agenda. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we'll definitely be back after we present to the DRC in July. We'll be back at the August meeting to talk about some other projects and programs that we've been working with Stephen and his team on.
Any questions?
Not a,
Commissioner Williams-Cox?
thank you, not a question, but thank you for the presentation, Elias. I also wanted to do a special recognition for a former DIA board member and chair, Dave Barrett, who we lost in this community recently. And I'm reading his obituary. I saw that some years ago, he had been a member of the DIA and served in the capacity of leadership. So just wanted to honor him and his family in that great loss.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Matlow?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Great presentation. I get a front row seat as a DIA board member, so I'm familiar with a lot of the work, but since being on the DIA for the past 8 years, just the progress we've seen in the last 2 since you've been on board, I think has been tremendous. Just bringing new ideas like the lighting downtown, things that don't really cost a lot of money but have a tremendous impact to the vibe and what it feels like. So appreciate your work, appreciate you coming here today and letting everybody know what you're working on. And I see our board chair, Mr. Slayton Murray, has joined us today too. Thank you for your work as well.
Mr. Porter, anything?
I echo the comments Commissioner Matlow and Commissioner Williams-Cox made. I'm excited to see the progress that we've made. I'm looking forward to an item coming back to us. Whatever input you have working most closely with the downtown businesses. I'm excited. I used to live downtown and I no longer do, but I almost wish I did again because of all that's happening there. So it's exciting to see. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we've been doing a lot, but we've got a lot more work to do and some big projects coming. So look forward to talking to you all again in a couple of months.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Elias. We certainly look forward to continuing our great work together and what we're doing to improve our downtown area, and look forward to working with you in that respect. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Great presentation. Keep up the great work.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, that moves us to item number 4.01.
At this time,
Public comment on agenda items.
at this time, we do have one speaker card, and it is on agenda item, a non-agenda item. So I don't know if we take that under unagenda items at number 10. Sorry.
No,
So I don't have any public speaker cards on agenda items at this time.
Okay, so we don't have any comments on agenda item, public comment on agenda items. Okay. All right, that moves us to item 5.01, items on consent.
Move
Is it-
approval.
As a a motion to approve the consent agenda by, that was Commissioner Porter? Okay. So we've got a motion by
Second.
Commissioner Porter to approve the consent agenda, seconded by Commissioner Williams-Cox. Any questions, comments? Okay. All in favor of the consent agenda signify by saying approving the consent agenda.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so that moves us to, we don't have any items pulled from consent.
Yes, sir. There's one item.
One item?
Yes, sir. It was originally the 503, now it's the 601. Approval of the 2-year contract extension for the CRA Director.
Okay. All right, so that moves us to item 6.01, which was moved from consent.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cox.
Thank you. The original contract was 5 years. The end of the 5 years is September. Built into the contract, there was a 2-year extension. And so I'm coming to you all asking for that 2-year extension as well as a pay increase. That is reflected in the agenda item. And I am here to answer any questions that you all may have.
All right, is there a motion then to approve? Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Down there.
I have a question, and then I have some comments, and I pulled
Okay.
the item. My question, this is just a technical question.
All right.
For the contract itself, the 2-year renewal, wouldn't we need to have approved this a few months ago for the 6-month? I mean, don't we need 6 months' notice if we're not renewing it?
Lou? You wanna-
So Commissioner, under the contract, it automatically renews for an additional 2-year term unless there was notice given 6 months before, and I'd have to go back 6 months before October that there was a desire not to renew. So under the terms of it, it automatically renews. It would be at the same rate that is stated in the contract. The amendment or the proposed amendment is a pay increase.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't just the contract extension itself. The reason I pulled this item, the item treats this as a compensation alignment issue, but I don't think that I would like to see more data supporting a 38% raise for a senior executive. So I'm not opposed to considering that, but I would like to see a salary review and a summary of some measurable outcomes, kind of an update on your tenure, some feedback there before we move forward with what I would consider to be a pretty significant salary increase. I'm just not comfortable supporting that today, but I would offer a motion that it come back to us at our next meeting with more information.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Porter, seconded by Commissioner Matlow. Any questions, concerns?
Have a comment.
Williams-Cox.
Thank you, and Commissioner Porter, I understand the spirit that you're operating in, but I would, and I've said this to the director in the city attorney's office, I would like to know before the window begins that it's coming up, and so that we have an opportunity to really evaluate, not just to determine whether we want to renew, but also to see if there's room for an increase or, whatever, what needs to be done in that arena. The other thing, too, that I have to think about is that when we do annual evaluations, he provides a report of the activities that he has performed, as well as his office and staff. And if there is a need for change or additional whatever, I use that opportunity to talk very candidly with the executive director, the kind of things that I expect to see as a part of my, after I evaluate him. Well, Actually, I evaluate him, then I meet with him and discuss his report and the things that have been done. And so I have that opportunity during that period of time to do that, but I also would like to know when contracts are coming due. Now, this contract is on the same fashion as the City of Tallahassee executive staff contracts as well. So I understand why it is the way that it is, and I think that maybe going forward, it would be a good idea to do it. But the next meeting of this body is not until August. And this would not go into effect until October 1.
Yes.
But I think that if we wait until August, it gives less time for staff to do what they need to do as far as preparing the budget and the budget hearing for us. So I'm gonna look at Lou, because I think that, Mr. Cox, I don't want you to be involved in this discussion with me. I want to talk to the attorney. Mr. Attorney, is there any problem with this coming back in August, or is there a need for us to make a decision now as to how to move forward?
So Commissioner, this is just within your discretion as to how much you want to pay your staff. I would assume that there's $45,000 available that could be found in the budget, and I would just ask staff to tell me if that's not the case. So I'm going to assume that it could come back in August if that's your desire.
Okay.
Commissioner Matlow.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I support the motion on the table. Salary conversations are oftentimes difficult to have in public, but this is a request for a 38% salary increase. That's not a routine salary adjustment. That's a pretty large leap from where we were just a few years ago. And I do think where we are today, the contract automatically renews at the rate with the increases that we've given so far. So I don't think we're at risk of not having a contract in place if we take our time to do this rate. But I am interested, we can look at comparable departments within the City of Tallahassee, but this agency is completely different than how the City of Tallahassee operates. Our agencies across the city are different. This is a smaller agency. We look at I serve on the board of the DIA, I serve on the board of COCA. I know what those salaries are. They're comparable to our current salary for the CRA director. So outside of what the City of Tallahassee is doing, which I think is a bit of an anomaly, we had to do a voluntary separation agreement, which led to 171 employees adopting that because our salaries have gotten too top-heavy. And I think we have to have concern about that for this agency as well. So I'm not saying I wouldn't support a salary increase. I'm not saying there's not room for adjustment. I do think we need to look at what similar positions across the city and outside agencies are doing. I'd like to see what CRA directors across the state of Florida and cities like Gainesville and comparable cities are paying, and just look at the budget comprehensively, bring that information back with options so we can have that conversation. I feel a lot more comfortable doing it that way than a 38% pay increase on a consent agenda. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Williams-Cox.
I want to go back to what Commissioner Matlow just said. This is not a 38%. This is a 7% per year, because this is the end of a 5-year contract that would go for 2 years. And so what he's asking for is an increase over the past 5 years from what he came in at 100,000. And so he's asking for an increase now as we go forward. And I'm okay with delaying until August if that's the will of the body. But I just want to make sure that it's clear in the public what we're doing, and I don't want us to penalize how we feel about city staff, penalize CRA, because it's a totally different budget, totally different process. And we need to just make sure we keep those things separate and apart and not bring any carryover from how we think about what others are doing within the city. I agree that perhaps looking at other CRAs, but the issue with that is no CRA is the same. Our City of Tallahassee is different from CRA and where he came from, Bartow. So Panama City. So you can compare them, but what are we comparing? Let's make sure if we're going to do that, we compare apples to apples. And So that's my opinion. This is from over a 5-year period.
Yes.
He has not received a salary increase other than what may have been already built in the attrition that everyone received. But for the responsibilities we're asking him to do to help manage and deploy millions of dollars, and this is at the end of the contract is when he's negotiating for an increase. So I want to make sure that that's clear to the public.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Porter?
I'm not sure I understand what Commissioner Williams-Cox just said. Can someone clarify? I mean,
She can clarify it. What I just said was,
well, excuse me, it's my time if I may. I would like to ask Mr. Cox, you have received the cost of living adjustment that employees have received?
Correct.
Correct, okay.
and that's what I said.
So, excuse me. So your salary, if this were approved, the base salary for the next fiscal year would go from $120,000 to $165,000, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it is a 38% salary increase from fiscal year '26 to fiscal year '27. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't or couldn't support that, but that is what we're talking about, correct? Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Matlow?
Thank you. And so looking at 5 years ago, it's a 60% increase from where we are 5 years ago. It's already increased 20-something percent. What we're considering today is, do we do an additional 38% on top of that? Would be a 60% increase from just 5 years ago. I do think it's a little too much. I'm not saying there's not room for improvement. We need to look at comparable departments around the state. But when we look at general workforce employees, when we look at our general our CRA staff, there's not many folks who have gotten a 60% pay increase in the past 5 years. And I think we need to be able to justify those types of increases to the public. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Let me see if the mayor has anything, and then I'll come back to you, Commissioner. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. Chair. I have no problem voting to postpone until August to make sure. There seems to be some questions, and the personnel issues are always very important issues to make sure to get right. So I'll support the motion on the table.
All right, Commissioner Williams-Cox?
Call the question.
The question has been called. All in favor of the motion as stated by Commissioner Porter, seconded by Commissioner Matlow. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, motion carries. So we will have information brought back to us for our August meeting.
And Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, what exactly are we asking to be brought back? Again, for clarification.
The item was to include a salary review, comparable salaries from other CRAs, and also just a summary of other justification, just measurable outcomes under Mr. Cox's leadership.
Okay. Clarify your question there, Mr. Williams-Cox.
We'll see what we get back.
Mr. Cox, is that?
I think it also included, Mr. Chair, comparable city employees or department directors as well. It didn't have to be limited only to CRA directors. Yeah.
Does that give you sufficient clarification?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cox, on what we're expecting back in August?
Now, what concerns me, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, is
Okay.
that we're asking the executive director to go out and do a salary evaluation for himself. So who would be responsible for providing this information? Because I think that is, I see some conflict there.
Mr. Chair, I mean, I think it's pretty standard that when it comes to us, whether it came to us from the clerk's office or from other offices, it's part of the process. So I don't, what is someone's recommendation
Well,
otherwise?
Well, it was your motion, so I'm just trying to determine who is going to provide the information, who's going to do the research and bring the information. It's different when we ask city staff to do something, but when we're asking the CRA director to go do a comparative analysis of your salary compared to other folks and bring it back.
Mr. Vice Mayor?
I don't see how.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Vice Mayor, I suggest, Stephen, why don't you reach out to the Florida League of Cities, who studies salary comparisons across the state of Florida for both not only senior management, but also for CRAs. And I think that'll just be straightforward information, probably the easiest way to get the information on CRA executive directors across the state of Florida, so we have a good comparison.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Okay.
you. That clears my concern.
That clears your concern. All right. All right. So we'll look to get that information back at our August meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything else on that issue? Okay. So then that brings us to the greater item of 7.01, the Greater Frenchtown Southside District Policy Formation and Direction. Mr. Cox.
Yes, sir. The first item is for address 1429 South Monroe Street. Elise Fisher will give the presentation to you.
Okay. Good morning. Elise.
Hi, good morning. This presentation is actually going to cover 7.01 through 7.05. It's a block, all owned by the same property owner, but all of the units are in individual properties, or parcels, which is why they were able to submit a CPIP application for each unit. So 7.01 is for 1429 South Monroe Street. This is a request for $26,222. 7.02 is for 1433 South Monroe Street. This is a request for $30,272. 7.03 is for 1437 South Monroe Street. This is for $36,852. 7.04 is for 1439 South Monroe Street for the same amount, $36,852. And the last one, 7.05, is for 1441 South Monroe Street for $28,930. So 1429, 1433, and 1441 are for all of the same improvements. These are all exterior, including replacing the windows, the doors, installing a new awning, painting, installing a stone veneer, and new exterior lighting. And then 2 of the units are going to include all of those exterior improvements as well as interior, including electrical system improvements and HVAC systems. And that's for 1437 and 1439. So just a visual of where we are. Again, these are all 5 units that the same property owner owns, but they are on individual parcels, which is why we're looking at 5 different applications. This is the existing conditions. The next slide shows a mock-up of what they intend to do. This isn't rendering, so it's not directly to scale, but kind of get the idea of the stone veneer on the bottom, the exterior painting, and then the new awnings that will go across all of the units. So with that, staff is recommending approval for all 5 of these applications for the improvements for the exterior and the interior for the 2 units.
All right. Any,
I move staff recommendation.
Mr. Chair.
there's a motion by Commissioner Williams-Cox. Any questions?
I have a
Porter?
question.
Commissioner Porter?
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So there is a motion and a second. Commissioner Porter?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just curious, does the applicant have prospective tenants or any active leasing efforts?
Not at this time. So some of the spaces have been used for retail and some have been restaurants, and she intends to keep it that way. I think once the improvements are done is when she'll really be actively trying to find new tenants for the sites.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there's a motion.
One question, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Matlow?
Thank you. Just one question, and I'm in support of where this is going. I think it can really beautify that section of the block. But just on the nature of all the different parcels in the grand scheme of the work, is the cost, because I saw one large awning, is the cost broken down per parcel of, like the bid per parcel?
Yes, sir.
An item? Okay.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's why you see the different amount, because some of the units are a little bit larger than the others, so they did break it down per property. And then those 2 that are including interior improvements, that's why they're the highest cost.
But the construction bids are also per property?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a motion then for approval of item 7.01 through 7.05. Is that my understanding? Okay. Any other questions, comments? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, all opposed, nay. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that brings us to item 7.06. Mr. Cox?
Yes, thank you. So this item will be presented by Sheila Williams, and this is a new construction assistance program grant for 704 Robert M. Trudy Perkins Way.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Yes, this is agenda item number 706. It is a request to approve NCAP, New Construction Assistant Program Grant Application in the amount of $521,006 to construct the 6,700 square foot, two-story mixed-use development located at 704 Robert and Trudy Perkins Way, and to authorize the staff to negotiate the terms of the grant disbursement terms. So here on the screen, we do have a rudimentary, so to speak, sketch of what the proposed development will look like. Currently on the site, there is a unit, a dwelling unit that is on the property that will be demolished. Again, the property is there in the vicinity of FAMU University at 704 Robert and Trudy Perkins Way. The proposed cost, the estimated total project cost for this is upwards of $2.1 million. The applicant is requesting, inside of what is allowable by the application process, a funding amount of $521,006. So this is a rendering of what it is proposed to look like, the two-story location. It will include several potential uses, but all of the uses will, of course, be what is allowed by zoning. The developer will be going through the site plan and permitting process to completely ascertain everything. Some proposed uses may include a coffee shop, salon suites, a restaurant, and a co-working space, an event center. So with that, staff did do a review of the request and did find that it is consistent with our guidelines, not only our guidelines, of course, the redevelopment plan, and of course, Florida Statute 163, Part 3. And it does speak to several of the priority areas that we look forward to having when you're in the CRA and in the district. There will be some prohibited uses that will not be allowed. You know, some of the customary things that likely that most people we don't want. All of that will be codified in the grant agreement in terms of agreement and funding. So with that, this item did go before the Greater Frenchtown Southside Citizens Advisory Committee at their last meeting, which was held March 9th, 2026, and the CAC was recommended approval of the funding request. Them, along with a lot of community input, they are very excited about this type of development in that area, and staff did do a recommendation for approval of the item as option 1, to recommend approval for the NCAP grant application in the amount of up to $521,006 for the construction of the 6,700 plus or minus two-story mixed-use development located there at 704 Robert and Trudy Perkins Way, and to authorize staff to negotiate the terms of disbursement. The developer is here along with myself, and we can answer any questions that you all may have. So with that, that does conclude my presentation.
Okay. You've heard the presentation. What action would you like?
Move recommendation, the staff recommendation.
All right. There's a motion by Commissioner Williams Cox to accept staff recommendation on 7.06.
Second.
Mr. Mayor?
Second.
You having?
He said second.
He's seconding it.
I don't know if you can hear me the original
motion.
time.
I'm sorry. Okay. So there is a motion and a second by the mayor.
Yeah, correct.
Any questions, Commissioner Matlow?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Great project, great to see new construction, new development, commercial construction in this area and in the South Side District completely. We don't get many projects like this. We get a lot of renovations, we get some smaller scale things, and then we get some tremendous mega scale things, but this is neighborhood level, new construction in a great area, so proud to support it. Thank you.
I just wanted to congratulate Chris Daniels on bringing forward a project like this. He's not new to this. He's true to it. He's been doing some other things on the South Side to improve the neighborhood and communities and the life of residents and students in that area. So thank you for bringing forth this project, and we encourage others to do the same. As I'm often heard to say, I like it, I love it, I want more of it. So as long as we're within the guidelines and we have the funding, we definitely want to support projects like this. So thank you, Chris, a new member of Omega Psi-Phi. He's been wearing purple ever since that day.
We won't hold that against him. Commissioner Porter, do you have any questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a few questions. So the application itself says it will feature an urgent care medical center, a coffee shop, salon suites, and a restaurant. But the staff item says, I think uses the word may, which may include but not limited to the following uses. So my question is, what is the status of tenant recruitment? Will there be those uses, those tenants, or is that aspirational? Can you come up
If
to
you come up to the microphone, please, Dr. Daniels.
In terms of the tenants, some we've already kind of had discussion with, and we are just kind of in the early stages. So especially, particularly with the urgent care / medical facility, it's kind of, it's a more nuanced situation. So really the biggest thing is about how much square footage and just kind of what it would look like. So, but we have had some discussions. So we're on the way, but we don't have an agreement yet, obviously, because we're still a long way from completion of the project.
Okay, thank you. And then I noticed that there's loan pre-approval for $2.5 million, which is more than the entire project cost. So I guess I'm wondering, would this be moving forward without CRA support?
I would need CRA support in order to for the project to go as intended. As far as the funding for construction loan, that's like a line of credit that may not all necessarily be able to be used for this one particular project. So it's a little bit different how they structure the deals.
Okay. So I'm just curious, and this is not a gotcha question. What does that mean exactly? Like, how are we supposed to know what the loan pre-approval, what else is it for?
No, you're pre-approved up to a certain amount.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you necessarily are going to be able to use that entire amount. It's just the amount that I'm pre-approved for. That's what I meant by that.
Okay. And then I had a couple questions about, and this can be for staff, I think.
Okay.
What is I see, like, are we still executing community benefits agreements in these development agreements for these programs? Because I see it says anticipated community benefits, but I didn't see any, that's not the same as, being part of the contract of a community benefit agreement. Are we still doing those?
No, we're not. I'm sorry. No, we're not doing community benefit agreements. We are still trying to achieve community benefits, but what we've been trying to establish with the creation of CPIP and FACE and NCAP are the things that we can actually measure and hold the applicants accountable for once the project is complete. So we're pulling back on things that we can't control after, the restrictive covenant is over. So if there's something that we can require them to do for 5 years, then that's in the agreement, but something that we can't manage after that 5-year timeframe, we don't try to put it in there. So we've tried to stay away from requiring them to hire certain individuals and things like that. So there are some community benefits that we still are encouraging them to try to create, and that comes out through conversations with the Citizen Advisory Committee. They have lengthy conversations with the applicant about what can you do for this project. Every project is going to be different.
Sure.
But again, there was conversations about trying to keep the rental rates reasonable and things like that. But again, the applicant is trying to target certain tenants, and we're hopeful that he will be able to get them. But again, it takes, two. And so we're trying to avoid holding something that's unachievable over their head when it comes to the agreement. So if they can't get a clinic, what would be the recourse if we put it in agreement, you must find a clinic, and then he's not able to? And so those are the things we're trying to avoid forcing into an agreement that we can't enforce.
Sure, and I understand that, and I appreciate that response. There are things, and I'm speaking just generally now too, that we can enforce and that we can measure. And as far as I understand it, and I would like to have another conversation about community benefits agreement, perhaps during sharing of ideas, because that is part of our strategic plan, that it be a requirement, that it be included and required as part of our development agreements. So I'm not sure when exactly that happened, and I support this project, but I want to make sure that this is a lot of money. It's a great project, but it's also, as far as I understand it, it's going to be market rate rentals. And so the community benefit is still a substantial part of what the CRA does. I noticed that I know that this was approved by the CAC, but they discussed anticipated rental rates, community use of the property, those kinds of questions, and nothing, as far as I know, has really been codified in any way. We're just hoping that, and I know you're a good person and community member, but that's not really how this is supposed to work. A community benefits agreement codifies that. So I'll support the project, but I would be a lot more comfortable if this were ironed out specifically in an enforceable way before it comes to us for approval, because especially since this is market rate.
Okay, Commissioner Williams-Cox.
If I could get clarification that this requested amount, this requested amount will not go to the developer until the project is completed? Is that my understanding? It's reimbursement?
Yes, it is reimbursement.
Okay, so the project will be a $2.1 million project, and he's asking for a little over $500,000, but he won't get any of that until it's been completed and approved.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were clear on that this is not upfront money. He has to have his funding in place to be able to start and complete this project. And I also, I understand what Commissioner Porter is saying, and I don't disagree, but I'm saying that some of these things that we've been able to do, some of the community benefits we've been able to do, we may not be able to do going forward as we learn more about what some of these anti-DEI things, because we kind of embedded some of these things in to make sure that minority participation occurred, make sure that we talked about using tempo employment in the past, and some of the other things that we've talked about. So Lou, that may be some things that we need to take in consideration when we look at what community benefits could look like now. And I understand what you're saying, Mr. Cox, that there's some things that we can't hold them hostage for, because how do we measure it and how do we get there? But where there are opportunities to have some benefit to the community, I think it would be good. And I think also it's worth noting that in the downtown DRC projects that we just approved, we didn't have any discussion about what the rate was going to be and who was going to be in there and those kinds of things. I think that what we need to make sure is that we're promoting these opportunities. And I know you are, you're not saying that, but I'm just saying, we didn't go down to what the rental rates were going to be and all of these kinds of things in some of the previous projects. I think he's provided to the CAC and others a very thorough presentation on what the plans are. We know plans are plans, but then things happen. And so, but he's only asking for a portion to be reimbursed after he's completed his project.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Porter.
Thank you. Yeah, and I don't disagree with those comments. For one, what we just approved were CPIP, and that's addressing blight. This is a new build. So they are different programs, but I would happily have that conversation as well for that. This is also just a more significant amount of money. And the last program, this is the second NCAP that's before us. The first one, JVP Lofts, had very specific community benefits outlined. I mean, this is the number of rental hours that we're going to give for this event space to nonprofits and community members, and it was very clearly outlined. I'm not sure what the status of that is, or if we're getting reports back to know that they're making good on that in the future. But there are things that are measurable that are not, wouldn't say you can't, still charge market rate rents to tenants. We understand you're operating a business, not a charity, and we want it to be successful. But I would like us to have, I just think these things could have been better ironed out before coming to us, like I think they were in the last project. But I'm happy to support it. I think it will be transformational. I like the scale of it for the area. And I'm excited about the tenants that you're in conversation with, because I think it'll really meet a need in the community. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. All right.
Motion on the table.
We have a motion.
Yeah.
Oh, was there any question?
Did anybody else have any questions? All right. So there's a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, like.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Daniels.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. I want to also commend Dr. Daniels for the work that he's doing in the community. He and I serve on the community housing.
Affordable Housing Advisory
Affordable
Committee.
Housing Action
AHAC.
Committee, yeah. And he's done a tremendous job in his capacity as chairman of that group. And so we look forward to continuing to work with you, Dr. Daniels.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Your
Thank you,
commitment
everyone.
to the community. All right. Okay, so that brings us now then to the Downtown District Policy Formation and Direction, item number 8.02. 8.02.
Yes, sir.
Scott, yeah.
Yes, sir.
8.02.
Thank you. Item 8.02 is a CPIP grant for 223 West Carolina Street. Elise, are you presenting this one?
I think
Or-
we've called out the wrong one. It should be 150 South Monroe.
No, 150. Yeah.
So 8.02 on the agenda that I have, and how we have everything aligned, is for CPIP, $200,000, 150 South Monroe Street.
I'm sorry. That is correct. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, are we,
150 South Monroe, excuse me.
okay. And that's for the 200,000.
Correct.
Okay, so we're on item 8.2 for 200,000, 150 South Monroe Street.
Okay, thank you, and I'll be presenting that. 802
Thank you, Sheila.
is the approval of the Commercial Property Improvement Program, CPIP grant, for $200,000. Property is located at 150 South Monroe Street. All right, so again, $200,000 funding request, which is the maximum amount under this program, which is a dollar-for-dollar matching grant with a certain amount as no match dollars. We do have a staff recommendation for approval of the request and for staff to enter into a grant agreement and restrictive covenants with the applicant. The property owner is a conglomerate of individuals who are coined Capital Corners LLC. The funding request is for exterior improvements to enhance with strengthening the building's visual appeal, improve safety for the tenants and visitors, and reinforce ongoing revitalization of the downtown Tallahassee, supporting both economic growth and community vibrancy. So with that, here is a rendering of the location of the property. The total project cost is almost upwards of $1 million, and the property owners are requesting a $200,000 CRA grant. The proposed improvements will be to enclose and upgrade the exterior stairwells, paint the exterior, install exterior lighting, install new signage, install new awnings, and improve the second floor balcony. So here are some pictures of before and some plans, preliminary plans of, and a picture of a proposed after. And with that, this item did go before the Development Review Commission, who did at their last meeting recommend approval of the request at their April 7th meeting. Staff had a recommendation of approval of the item for the $200,000 to complete the exterior improvements to the property. And I believe that concludes the information on this. Of course, we did find that it is consistent with the CPIP guidelines in the Downtown Redevelopment Plan, and of course, Florida Statute 163, Part 3. So with that, we would like to request a recommendation for this item. I'm not sure if the applicant is online or not, but hopefully if they are not, if you have any questions, I will attempt to answer those, or staff will. Thank you.
All right. What's the approved action by the board?
Move staff recommendation.
There's a motion by Commissioner Williams Cox to approve staff recommendation. Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, I'll second it for conversation, but
Okay, Commissioner Matlow for conversation.
thank you. So help me explain, Mr. Cox, we're looking at the CPIP budget, and in this program, there's a $771,138 balance. But it seems the total of the recommendations today are in excess of $1 million. First off, why do we have recommendations in excess of what's budgeted by this board for these programs? And second question is, how do we anticipate to make up? If we accepted all of these today, we'd be over budget. Where would that money be coming from?
Well, the consent item was a budget amendment, and that that money is for the assistance programs, so that would cover all of these projects.
So my question is, when we do the, when you get the individual projects, what at the staff level triggers we need to have a review of the budget conversation? And I understand the consent item physically puts the money there so we can do it, right? But I'm asking, when we produce an agenda and we're bringing forward enough items that are going to be in excess of the budget, I think that's a conversation that we should be having prior to having recommendations that exceed the budget passed in our budget, because we should be having a broader conversation, and we do annually. And I think you'll remember in our last budget conversation, I spoke a lot about, while some of these programs I do support, we need to have hard caps on what we're willing to spend on them, because I think we need, as we approve more and more of these projects, we have less and less money in the downtown budget. That's less money that we can really put into public infrastructure and some of these bigger, broader scale projects that we want to see. So I just feel like it's a slippery slope to let the wagon drive the budget conversation. We need to be hard in this is how much money we want to spend on a budget year for different types of programs. so we don't get into a point, well, if we got $2 million in applicants this week, will we say, well, can we adjust the budget to accommodate them? I think we're just working backwards. So, I mean, that's a larger budget conversation, but I just wanted to, I don't like the way that this has come forward on this agenda today. But that being said, I did second the motion, and I do support the items. I think you have a lot of facade improvements in the downtown area that I do think are beneficial as laid out by the CPIP program and what this board has asked us to go out and do. So I'll support it on the merits, but I think pushing the budget when we do the next budget conversation, we really need to limit, I think, how much we want to put into private facades so we can start planning how much we can put into public space. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Williams-Cox and then Commissioner Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to applaud staff for looking at the budget and determining that we do have money available. The budget is a guide that we approve, which allows the flexibility to follow a process that you all followed today and reviewed in my briefing about how money needed to be reallocated in the budget to cover these projects. I think our goal is, when I first came to the commission, we were having problems with money getting on the street.
Yeah.
And so now we're putting money on the street so that the money can be used for these purposes, because one of these days, this money is going to go away. And so I applaud you for being good stewards of the budget and realizing that if these projects are approved, we need to determine where this money needs to come from in the approved budget and bringing in a budget amendment to us to help offset that, to make sure that it is covered. To me, that's fiscally sound budgeting. So I hear what Commissioner Matlow is saying, but when I had my opportunity to chat with you, I understood what this a budget amendment was going to be covering and what it's going to be doing. So that's why I have no problem accepting the recommendation that has been made. And I think, too, that it goes back to the DRC. The DRC has done their due diligence. We've heard what kind of caliber of folks that are on these advisory committees, that the DRC as well as the CAC, to help us make sure that we're not overspending and that we're doing what we need to do to get these dollars on the street. I remember promptly, I know the mayor's on the line, when we came here, the mayor said he wanted to see shovels in the ground. Well, shovels are in the ground. And so and you're doing what you need to do to make sure that we don't go over budget by reallocating and moving things to make sure we meet our target. So I think you've done what you were supposed to do, and thank you for sharing that with me in our briefing.
Okay, Commissioner Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I support this project generally, but I have to say, I mean, this is a well-capitalized professional office building that's fully occupied, so I don't intend to support this. I think there is a difference between outdated and blighted, and I just think there are better uses of these funds in particular, especially since I don't see the public need. I think this is going to move forward with our support or without it. But I'm grateful that people continue to invest in our downtown, but I just think these funds are better served where they're most needed. Thank you.
All right, there's a motion and a second.
One last question, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry. Was this project supported by the DRC?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other comments, concerns? All right, all in favor of the motion as presented by staff, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Like
Aye.
sign?
Nay.
The motion carries 4-1 with Commissioner Porter in opposition. All right, then that brings us to item 8.03. Mr. Cox.
Yes, sir. This is a CPIP grant for 223 West Carolina Street.
Thank you. This is another presentation that's going to combine two projects. This is 8.03 and 8.04. Like the last ones we saw, there are two units that are combined, but on separate parcels, but they are owned by the same individuals. So the first one is for 223 West Carolina Street. This is a CPIP request for $175,525. And then 8.04 is for the adjacent 22-7 West Carolina Street for $49,937. Just a little bit of information about the business operating out of these units. This is social catering. They're currently operating out of 227 West Carolina Street, but they have outgrown that space. So this month, they purchased next door 223 West Carolina Street. And these improvements are to expand the kitchen and the services that they provide so that their business can continue to grow as a catering business. And in addition to that, as far as benefits to the community, they do a lot of response during disasters, both locally and across the region. They conduct business with FEMA, FP&L, Red Cross, and some local agencies as well. So they have a huge impact, boots on the ground, during disasters. That has been during hurricanes that have affected us locally, as well as the tornadoes they had a significant response to. So looking at these projects, the first 223 West Carolina Street, this is the building that they just purchased. So all of these improvements are interior to demolish the interior walls to allow for the expansion of that kitchen and catering space. Again, this is because of the growth that they've seen over the years, and to also expand for their emergency response when needed. And then 227 West Carolina Street, this is the building that they're currently operating out of, and this request is to install a permanent backup generator. Staff reviewed this item to kind of determine if it would be eligible under our existing programs, and we found that it was. It doesn't fall under equipment because it is permanent and fixed to the building. So if they were to leave, this would remain and stay with the structure. And then we saw this being essential to the use of the building due to the fact that they respond during disasters. So if they were to lose power, they wouldn't lose that food waste, and they would be able to provide that service to our community and to surrounding communities as well. So we didn't see that it falled under equipment, like something like a computer or a refrigerator, but rather a fixed installation like an HVAC unit or plumbing or electrical. So with that, staff is recommending approval for both of these applications. This did go to the DRC. They recommended approval and shared their support for the local business. So staff is recommending approval.
Okay, so we've heard the presentation.
Move staff recommendation.
Second.
There's a motion to approve staff recommendation by Commissioner Williams Cox, seconded by Commissioner Porter. Any questions? Commissioner?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Is the motion for 8.03 and 8.04 or just 8.03?
That's
I made the motion for
my
both.
understanding. Yeah.
For both.
For both, okay. So I'm in support of 8.03 and the renovation of the building and more commercial activity in the district. I'm a little perplexed on us funding a standalone item for a backup generator. I'm not sure what value that adds to the community or, frankly, the business. I think that's a nice to have in the event of a hurricane, but I don't think it's going to bring any additional revenue into the district. It's not going to improve values in the district, and I don't think those are the types of standalone items that we should be funding. I think people all across the district would love to have backup generators, but that's just not the business that I think we should be in. So I'll make a substitute motion, or if willing to separate these, so I would like to support 8.03, but can we take 8.04 separately?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, there's a substitute motion by Commissioner Matlow to separate the two items. Is there a second to that substitute motion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. There's a
So the motion would be just to adopt
consider-
8.03.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll start with item 8.03 on the substitute motion.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Porter?
I just have a comment. I just want to say I really like this project. It's local, it's growing incrementally, it's activating an underused building. Those are all the things that I look for these kinds of investments, and the job creation is specific. So I'm excited to support this item.
You're supporting the,
803.
The second, she's the substitute motion.
okay,
I'm just speaking on 803.
okay. All right, where are we, Mr.?
We have a vote on 803.
So, Mr. Chairman, I've got a question. If I understand the substitute motion, it would be to approve 803, and if I understand it, would it be to deny 804? So you would then move on to 805, and I'm trying.
Thank you for the, no, sir. I'm just having a motion on 8.03, and then we'll take up 8.04 separately.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the motion to approve, the substitute motion to approve item 8.03, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Move for staff recommendation for 8.04.
Okay, there's a motion.
Second.
There's a motion by Board Member Williams-Cox to approve item 8.04, to approve the grant for 227 West Carolina Street. Is there a second to that
The
motion?
mayor second.
The mayor, you second that
Second.
motion? Okay, we've got a motion and a
I
second.
did.
Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Nay.
Thank you.
Okay. The motion carries
It passes 4-1.
4-1, with the mayor being opposed.
No, with
Commissioner
Commissioner Matlow
I'm
being
sorry.
opposed.
Mr. Matlow. I apologize for that. Okay, so that's 8.04. That then takes us to 8.05. Mr. Cox.
He's not
The- Yeah, the mayor is going
Well, I think he'll say
to, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So
We're on 8.05.
8.05,
Mr. Cox.
excuse me. We have a CPIP grant for $200,000 for 110 South Monroe Street, and Sherry Curtis will present this to you.
Okay.
Morning. Agenda item 8.05 is the approval of a commercial property improvement grant in the amount of $200,000. The property is located at 110 South Monroe Street in the downtown CRA district and is owned by Book Bullers LLC. Book Bullers LLC is requesting $200,000 for exterior improvements that include new brick veneer, new glass storefront, new railings on the upstairs balcony, and installing new windows. The total project cost is estimated at over $896,000. Here you have a couple of before and after pictures that illustrates the improvements that will be coming. And this has gone to the Downtown Redevelopment Commission, which they have a recommended approval. The application is consistent with the Downtown Redevelopment Plan as well as the CPIP guidelines and the Florida statutes. Staff is requesting, along with the DRC, to approve the CPIP grant in the amount of $200,000 to complete exterior improvements. And the applicant is present today, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor?
yes, out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to recuse myself from 8.05 and 8.06 for a perceived conflict of interest, and I will fill out the appropriate paperwork, and I'm removing myself from the conversation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Oh, okay, so with that, is there,
Move staff recommendation.
there's a motion by Commissioner Williams-Cox to approve staff recommendation on 8.05. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, there's a motion.
Second too, you know. You can second too, you know,
Well,
if you want
okay.
to.
All right. All right, so there's a motion by Commissioner Williams-Cox, seconded by Commissioner Matlow. Any further questions, concerns?
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Porter?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a question. Is it tenant occupied currently? No. Okay, I didn't think so. Okay, thank you.
Is that it?
Just,
Commissioner Matlow?
thank you. Mr. Chair. I think the renderings look great. I think as we improve these corridors, I do want to just go back to my previous comments of long-term ability to improve the infrastructure in downtown Tallahassee. You know, we can make all the buildings look beautiful and the sidewalks can still be crumbling. So, you know, as we stock money long-term and work with the state to make those improvements, it's important that we have a balance. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, so we got a motion and a second on item 8.05. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion
Aye.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, you're recusing?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, he has a conflict, so he's not participating.
All right.
Yeah, delete the room.
So all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the mayor recuses. So item 8.05 passes on a 4-0 vote with the mayor recusing himself from the vote.
Thank you.
Okay? Item 8.06.
Item 8.06 is the approval of another commercial property improvement grant for $200,000 to complete exterior improvements located at 118 North Monroe Street. The property is owned by Boulos LLC, and they're requesting the $200,000 for for exterior improvements, which include facade cladding as well as new windows. The total project cost for this project is approximately $550,000. Here you have a before and after illustration. There are two different claddings that the property owner is considering. One is the smooth cladding, then that's on your left after picture, and the right after picture is more of a textured cladding. They're still deciding on which cladding to choose from, but it will be one of the two that you're looking at currently. This application has gone to the Downtown Redevelopment Commission, which has recommended approval. The application is consistent with the Downtown Redevelopment Plan as well as the CPIP guidelines and the Florida statutes. The staff as well as the DRC is recommending approval of the CPIP application for $200,000 for the exterior improvements. And the applicant is also here, and I'm here to answer any questions you have.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move staff recommendation.
Commissioner Williams-Cox moves staff recommendation on item 8.06. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion by Board Member Commissioner Williams-Cox and seconded by Commissioner Matlow. Any other questions, concerns? Commissioner
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted the record to show that although both of these items actually only show 2 bids, there was a 3rd bid, which is required per CPIP guidelines. It was just received late. I emailed Mr. Cox about it earlier this morning. I just wanted the record to show and make sure that that's included, updated in the agenda, or whatever's the appropriate way to make that clear to the public for review.
Mr. Cox.
Yes, we'll update that. Excuse me, it was just received after we had
Published the
uploaded,
agenda.
thank you, published it. So, but yes, it will be reflected in the agenda.
Okay. All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Was this also where the mayor was
Recusing.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, he's recused on this one.
on 8.06? Okay. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0 with the mayor recusing himself from the vote.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
see that Mr. Boulos has his hand raised.
Are we?
Listening to this commission, I truly appreciate your time.
Okay.
And I want to comment on this building. This building was vacant for 10 years, and I purchased it back in 2016. spent a lot of money to expand and fix the interior. And what I'm proud of, and what I was trying to tell you, and I know, Commissioner Porter, I was able to bring in tenants who were new in the business, charge them $300 to $500 a month, including utilities, Wi-Fi, and rent. And what we're proud of is to see these businesses expand and become successful. And I can speak of all the tenants that are in the building that are new businesses that have expanded and created vitality. So I do appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the grant. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, that brings us then to item 9.01. That's both districts' policy formation and direction.
There's nothing.
We have nothing on that item. Then that brings us to item number 10, public comment on non-agenda items. Mr. Cox.
I believe Sheila will let us know if we have any comments.
Do we have any?
Yes, we do have one speaker card for speakers on agenda items. Meltonia Chandler, if you would, come to the podium, name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes. The light on the dais will go from green to yellow to red, at which time, please conclude your comments.
Good morning. My name
Good
is
morning.
Tonya Chandler, representing 524 North Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Good morning to you all. Thank you for
morning.
the opportunity for me to speak. On the behalf of Frenchtown Neighborhood Improvement Association, I respectfully request consideration for funds associated with the lease purchase agreements for the property located at 524 North Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. To be reinvested into a critical infrastructure improvement, the purchase of the installation of a backup generator system for the facility. As reflected in the CRA annual report, the property is currently operating under a 4-year lease agreement, which is scheduled to end June 30th, 2026. With the ownership anticipated to transfer it back to FNIA, as the organization prepares for a long-term stewardship of this community asset, ensuring operational resilience and continuity of service is essential. Our facilities serve as a vital resource hub in the Frenchtown community, supporting meal preparation, food distribution, workforce programming. Reliable backup power is necessary to protect refrigeration, food safety, kitchen operation, emergency and preparation capacity, and uninterrupted service delivery during storms or power outage. Investment in this infrastructure would directly support CRA goals related to neighborhood stability, food insecurity, community resilience, and preservation of essential community service within the greater Frenchtown Southside District. We respectfully request clarification regarding the remaining obligation and allowable use of funds associated with the lease agreement, and whether those funds may be utilized towards the permanent capital improvement as the organization transitions towards ownership. We sincerely appreciate the CRA's continued partnership and investment in the Frenchtown community. I'm asking that you all reconsider. I'm a little emotional, I'm sorry, just a little nervous because this has been a long, long road for us. And I recall I was telling a story last week that maybe 2 years ago, when there was a hurricane, I had to literally from my house, go from house to house, trying to grab generators to hook up because we have so many refrigerators around the hub. So the thought of losing all the food because, as, of course, there's so many that do depend on us, not just children, but the unhoused in the community. So it was very much a struggle.
If you
Sorry.
conclude your comments, you reached the 3 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. But thank you.
All right.
I'm sorry, are there any other speakers?
Yeah, are there any other speakers?
No more speaker cards.
Mr. Chair,
Okay. Commissioner Williams-Cox?
hearing that request and being advised of it, that it might be coming in my briefing, I am prepared to make a motion that we modify the terms of the agreement with the Frenchtown Neighborhood Hub. No, that's not the official name. That those funds that they have been collecting to pay the CRA for that facility, that those funds be allowed to be reinvested into the much-needed generator that has been expressed here today.
Yeah, I would second
Mr. Chair,
that. Commissioner Porter?
I would ask, I mean, I'm not in support of that, but I really would prefer it come back to us as an item with the contract in more detail. I don't feel comfortable approving that without an agenda item and just more information. Because I'm not really familiar with, I haven't been contacted by the hub, and so I'd feel more comfortable with more information.
Commissioner Williams-Cox, you want to respond?
I have no response. We all have the contract. We approved it. So all I'm asking for is a modification of the terms of the contract.
Okay. There's a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Matlow?
Thank you. I just don't have enough information. I don't have the contract in front of me. We haven't been shown the information of the contract. I don't really know the nature of the request, the value of the request. I have basically zero information to make a decision at this point. I would support it coming as an agenda item to the next meeting so we can review. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Williams-Cox?
as we heard, the agreement terms, the agreement ends June 30th. The next meeting of this board is August.
Any other questions, concerns? Okay, all in favor?
I'll make a substitute motion, Mr. Chair, that this item come back to us at our next meeting. I'd be happy to meet before then. I mean, we know when our contracts are going to end, so if they need to come back to us at, before then, so that we can properly act, then that's what we should be doing, not making decisions like this on the fly. There are dozens of contracts, if not more, that this board has approved. I don't have any of them available to me by memory. So I wasn't aware that this request was going to be made. But my substitute motion is that this come back to us at our next meeting, and at the chair's discretion, I'd be happy to have another meeting before then if we need to.
Second.
Mr. Chair.
There's a substitute motion and a second to the substitute motion. Commissioner Williams-Cox?
I respectfully will not support the substitute motion. The contract is available. The contract has been in place for a period of time. We approved the contract. The only thing we're asking today is that they were required to make a payment to finish the contract by June 30th. And the only thing I've asked is that nothing else changes in the contract other than they would not have to make that payment, that they will be able to take that payment and reinvest in providing generators to keep the operation going, especially now we're here during hurricane season, and especially now we just approved for someone else to have a permanent generator be funded by the CRA. So with that in mind, I will not be supporting the substitute amendment.
Yeah,
Substitute motion.
I will not support the substitution motion as well. And Mayor, are you there? Mayor, are you there? Hey, has the mayor?
Did he come back to the room?
What's the recommendation?
Call the question.
Whatever you all decide.
I think we need to make sure that the mayor has an opportunity to participate remotely as we have required. And if for some reason, he lost connection,
The substitute motion will give time for the mayor to be available at the next meeting.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, I think I'm straightened out. Do you hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you. All right, so we've got a substitute.
Great,
motion.
and
We've got a substitute.
may I speak, Mr.?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, staff. I know you had me muted on that end and it got a little confusing, but I appreciate you pointing it out. I am going to support the original motion on the table because of the fact of the community need. I do think this is a little different because of the fact that the hub does feed many people in need in our community. They have a proven track record of success, but they also have a proven track record of hurdles when it comes to power being out in regards to hurricane season. And I do think time is of the essence because hurricane season begins on June 1, and our next meeting is not until August, which leaves them vulnerable for several months during hurricane season. So I understand the terms of the contract that was approved by this board. I am comfortable moving forward with the generator assistance. Correct me if I'm wrong, this used to be a city facility as well. And so I feel comfortable moving forward with the original motion.
All right, all in
Mr.
favor?
Chair,
Commissioner Porter?
I'd like to amend my substitute motion to have a meeting before the contract expires so that we can discuss this.
Is there a second to that?
Accepted.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I will not be supporting that motion because I believe that we don't need to have a meeting
Right.
to do this. We can do this now. The urgency of now is now. And to come back after we've recessed for the summer for a one-item agenda, to me, is not an efficient use of time.
All in favor?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Porter?
Thank you, and I'm not going to fight this. I just want to say, if something is ever this urgent, I would love to hear about it. I received no correspondence from FNIA or any indication from staff that this was up for expiration and that we did discuss it as something in my briefing yesterday with Mr. Cox as something that would be coming to us in the future, but I had no indication. This is not how we should be doing business. This has nothing to do with FNIA, nothing to do with the individuals, with their record, or anything like that. If we know a contract is going to be expiring and we won't have a meeting in time to discuss it, it should have been on the agenda for this meeting. So I'm very unhappy with the position that I feel like I'm put in. None of us should be expected to have by memory all of the contracts we've ever approved and every detail of it. So unfortunately, I see where this is going. That's all I have to say. But this is just not an appropriate way to do business on the fly like this.
Okay. All in favor? Excuse me. All in favor of the substitute motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Aye. The motion,
No.
the substitute motion fails. So we're back on the original motion.
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Matlow?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Cox, walk us through the contract and what's being asked today. What is this vote?
It was a four-year lease agreement. At the end of the lease agreement, they had to show that they had saved up, I can't remember the monthly breakdown, but essentially ends up being $67,200 in a separate account that would be earmarked for the acquisition of the property. So at the end of the 4 years, they paid us the $67,200, and they would then own the property moving forward. That's the essence of the agreement. I think there's a few other elements to that, but that's the core of the agreement. The June 31st, or excuse me, June 30th is the end of that four-year lease agreement. So that would be the timeframe where they would have to have secured the money and move forward with acquisition.
Okay, and so the motion on the table waives the requirement to make that payment?
That would be my understanding.
The motion on the table is to amend the terms of the contract that would not require them to make a payment to the CRA in that amount, that they could then, as the request was, to reinvest it in the much-needed generator to keep the hub running, especially during, times of storm.
Which is the original motion.
Thank you. And so have we received bids on generators?
No, sir. No, sir. They, I believe a couple of years ago, they did ask about the CRA paying for a generator since we were the property owner. At the time, I said we weren't interested in adding any elements to the property. We're just waiting for those 4 years. So this has been something they've wanted for a number of years, but as far as the owner of the property, we weren't interested in adding that facility or adding that element to the property.
On point, we just approved $49,937 to install a permanent backup generator for a building. So we know that a generator, depending on the size and capacity, would be somewhere in that range, which is within reach of the $67,200.
So what would if we move forward with this item, what would the requirement of the CRA be on the transfer of the property with a generator? What would be what's our guardrail to ensure a $67,000 generation is installed at the facility?
I'm sorry, say the last part again?
We're waiving $67,000 for generator installation. What is our guardrail or clawback if a generator doesn't get put in at the facility?
Well, again, that would be language that would have to be added to the agreement, would be some way of showing us that they did use the funds the way that they said they were going to use the funds. So that's what would need to happen.
So what's the proposal? I mean, we have to vote on it today because we can't bring it back to an item to flesh out those details. So
Right.
we need to flesh out these details now of what this will look like. Mr. Attorney, can you help us understand?
So Commissioner, and I'm going off of memory here, the agreement called for a closing, I believe it's by July 31st. The $67,000 would have been payment due at closing for the transfer of the property. If I understand the motion, rather than that money be paid to the CRA, that $67,000 would be reinvested back into the property for a backup generator. So I think it would be your direction if you want to make that a condition of closing, that it has to be done or within a certain period of time. I mean, that's your direction.
Okay, thank you. This is where I'm at. Obviously, I didn't support the generator issue on the last item. I don't think that's community redevelopment. I think those things can be funded. I think they have community value. I just don't think they're a CRA value. I understand the deadline on the transfer of the property. I've always supported the neighborhood association moving forward and being able to operate this facility. I don't support whatever this is. Coming to a meeting with no agenda item, throwing $67,000 in the air over here, talking about a generator over here with no bids, no understanding of how much it may cost, comparing it to another bid of a different size facility. Like, that's all madness to me. That's not a professional way to do business. What I would support separately is, extend the agreement, extend the time frame to pay. So there's not an immediate time frame to pay. Extend that 6 months to a year. Come back with an item on the benefits of the market and the neighborhood association, and see if it's something we can either offer forgiveness on that payment or something, we can speak to the long-term benefit of this organization to get over what we're trying to do, transfer the property and get it off of our hands, but take the generator conversation separately, much like we did here. Trying to throw all these things together and scramble and it's just confusing. It doesn't make sense. The numbers don't match. Like, none of it is a good way. I can't support it, but I will make another substitute motion. And my substitute motion is to extend the contract 6 months. There's not an immediate payment due. Work out the details with the organization to come back to see how we can get to conclusion of transferring the property, and then look at a generating capacity as a separate funding decision.
All in favor of Commissioner Matlow's substitute motion.
You didn't get a second.
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion, there's a substitute motion and a second. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Attorney. Currently, right now, under the current contract, we own the facility, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So let's talk this through. I think Commissioner Matlow has a good idea to extend the contract, but instead of doing 6 months, I would suggest a year. And the reason why is at the end of the contract, they still have to pay off the original terms, okay, of the agreement. But what that does is it gives them time. It allows them to reinvest and get the generator. Now, because we own the facility, that means that we're still in the mix, which means the procurement process could actually go through the CRA, so it's legitimate. We get the bids for the generator working in conjunction with the nonprofit, and therefore we go through the process. We expedite it because of hurricane season. They have the funds to reinvest in the generator, but it's our procurement process because it's our facility. Am I on point with that, or did I miss anything?
I have a question. Go ahead. And respond.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I understand what the mayor's question was, so CRA owns the facility. Right now, the lease is scheduled to expire on July 31st. It certainly could be extended if that's the will of the board. And then if the lease is extended, since it's a CRA asset, if you all chose to invest or improve the asset, you certainly could do so while you were the owner, if that's what I understood the comment or question was.
So my question,
Commissioner Williams-Cox.
my question is, would we want the CRA going around purchasing generators? Or would it be cleaner to allow the facility to do that work, find out what is needed and do it themselves? This has evolved into something more than I guess I anticipated, because this is a community good. You heard what they are doing, and we know what they're doing because we're seeing the fruits of that labor. To me, it was a very simple request, and I thought it was a very simple way to get it done, because otherwise, is it June 30th or July 31st? You said, you keep saying July 31st.
No, we have to close by July 31st.
Okay, but the contract ends June 30th?
Yes.
Okay, so otherwise, June 30th, they've got to provide the funds that they've been saving to allow for this transition, correct? What closing is?
Well, by July 31st, that would be the deadline to close.
Okay, all right.
Excuse me, it's by July 1st. We have to close by July 1st.
Okay, by July 1st, okay. Thank you for that clarification. So we're, why would we want to extend this? Why would we want to stretch this out? Why? I say we either vote it up or down. The original, I know there's a substitute motion we need to deal with. I'm still with my original motion that I plan to support.
Yes.
And let's move on. So that's where I am.
Okay, we're on the substitute motion made by Commissioner Matlow, seconded by Commissioner Porter. Any other questions, concerns, issues? Hearing none, all in favor of the substitute motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay, so the motion then fails 3-1, 3-2, with the mayor, Commissioner Williams-Cox, and myself voting against. Okay, so we're now back on the original motion. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
That's where we are.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, we're on the original motion made by Commissioner Williams-Cox. I seconded it. All in favor of that original motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, like sign.
Nay.
The motion carries 3-2 with Commissioner Williams Cox, the mayor, and myself in favor, and Commissioner Porter and Matlow voting against. So the motion carries. Anything else on that item?
That wasn't an item.
Okay. All right, then that brings us to, is it 10.01?
No, sir. It will be 11, sharing of ideas.
Okay. All right, so we're on 11, on item number 11, CRA board information and sharing of ideas. Board members. Commissioner Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a question about the GFS Strategic Investment Plan and Redevelopment Plan and the Downtown Redevelopment Plan. Are there any updates coming to us of those plans? I know that for the Strategic Investment Plan, the language says that it will be updated every 5 years, and there's some other exceptions as well, but I'm wondering, I was my understanding that we did community engagement for both plans to be updated, but I haven't seen updated plans come to us. So I just wanted to know if there was a status update on those plans and any updates.
Yes, ma'am. So we are, excuse me, currently in the process of creating both of those. We have received feedback for the downtown area. We are, this upcoming summer, we're going to be conducting community meetings to get feedback on updating the GFS Strategic Investment Plan. So again, it is every 5 years, and we're looking to do that this year. And we're in the process of coordinating, setting up those meetings now.
Okay, so that should come to us later this year?
Probably November is what I would target for. I think that's the meeting after the August meeting. I think that would be more in line with getting that feedback and being able to relay that to you all.
Okay, and at what point will we be involved in giving feedback?
Well, so typically what we've done is we've had an open, where people can come in and, kind of indicate what their priorities would be, things like that. As far as for you all, you all are able to do that as well. If there's anything in particular you want, you can always get in touch with me or staff and let us know if there's something you would like us to pay more attention to. But ultimately, we have these open events as well as the survey that we'll have that will be available for stakeholders to, kind of give us their feedback and comments.
Okay, thank you. I think that I would like to make a motion that just an update on this formally come to us at our August meeting, and that could be a forum for us to provide feedback as board members. So just sort of a timeline, a status update, since I know that work has been done and it hasn't been presented to us yet. So whatever we have, and just an opportunity for us to have a brief discussion and provide our own feedback, if we have any, would be my motion.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion by, there's a motion by Board Member Porter to bring that back at our next meeting.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. And there's a second by Commissioner Matlow. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Is it clear? Yes, sir. It's being asked. All right, all in favor of the motion? As state.
Aye.
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 Commissioner Matlow?
Aye. Yes.
Okay, all right.
And
So
that's all for me.
the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Mr.
And so
Chair.
we'll expect that information to come back at our next.
And that's all for me. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Matlow.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to follow up, now that this item has passed, just follow up on my previous questions, either Lou or Mr. Cox. Now that there's a deadline to transfer the property by July, what is the staff's process on the contract with the generator? How will we expect this to unfold?
So we would modify the agreement. They will put in the language indicating that the funds would not be transferred to the CRA. They would be used for the purchase of a generator. We would have to get with F&IA to get specifics as far as size of the generator and that kind of thing, and have that information in there so that the agreed upon size and scale of the generator is what they end up with and not some other smaller form, and kind of go from there. But that's ultimately what we would need to have in order to move forward with
Okay.
this.
That would be before closing.
Yes, we will get that information before closing, and get everything, get the modification signed.
Okay. And can you just send an update to the board when you have that
Absolutely.
information? All right, thank you.
On point,
Commissioner Williams-Cox.
buying a generator is just a part of it. The cost of implementation or installation is another thing. I just bought an air conditioning unit, but it ain't gonna do a thing until somebody installs it. So we need to, there's a cost for installation as well. So I think that should also be included in that, in that, along with any other modifications that are pertinent to the purchase and installation of the properly sized generator.
And that's all for me, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, and I've had this conversation with Mr. Cox, but I wanted to make a motion that we bring back an agenda item in August to look at relocating the CRA office and staff back into City Hall so that there'll be more day-to-day integration of the CRA office and the work that happens in the city, because they really work together. And I think that being housed together will help promote a more congruent and collaborative opportunity. So that is my motion, that an agenda item be brought back by CRA staff after working with the city staff to determine what that would look like. That's the motion.
I'll second.
Second.
I'll second. Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any questions, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Okay, that's what I thought I heard.
That's all I have.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. I don't have anything. Mr. Mayor, did you have anything for the good of the cause?
I don't have anything, Mr. Vice Mayor.
All right. All right. Anything else, Mr. Cox?
No, sir.
All right, we will stand adjourned at 12:01 p.m.
That was all.